6, 7? All right.
My hat should be way to go.
No, you're fine, man.
You should do that, right? Burn my head.
You're smart with that.
I don't tan. I go straight to.
Yeah,
I go
straight to burn.
Can you run over there and push the concentrate down a little bit? Don't yet, sir. Keep going, Eric.
So they haven't made it.
Really good. Keep mine open, sir.
That's good, Eric.
Just have that on. So channel 1 is malt pot, and channel 2 is skin on my stick.
Hey everybody. Good afternoon everyone. I'm Chief Pamela Smith of the Metropolitan Police Department, and I just want to take a few moments to get everyone up to speed on what occurred here today with regard to the shooting that took place in the 5800 block of 7th Street Northwest. Before I get into what actually happened, I want to clear up a couple of things. There was never a shooting inside of our 4th District station. No one walked into our 4th District station to shoot anyone. What actually happened was at 12:09 p.m., our officers received a call for a shooting within the 5800 block of 7th Street Northwest. One of our officers was traveling to work, and while en route to work, he observed a vehicle driving very erratically. The suspects in the vehicle stopped the car very abruptly, got out of the car, and fired at our officer. Our officer was able to give a partial plate. At that point, he drove himself to the 4th District station and was subsequently then transported to an area hospital. What we know about the suspects is that as soon as the partial plate information came out, our real-time crime center pushed out a notification of the vehicle and the plate. Our Falcon and our officers began to canvass the area. Falcon tracked the area into Landover, Maryland, where the vehicle crashed and 2 suspects were taken into custody. What I will say is this. Our officer, we're grateful that our officer has not sustained any life-threatening injuries. He is at an area hospital with his family and our family support team. I also want to thank all of the federal partners who have reached out today, and all of our regional partners who have reached out and provided support. Some of them have come directly down to this scene to ensure that we have the resources that we need. And I also want to thank the community. The community was very, very helpful in providing us with video and information to ensure that we apprehended these suspects very quickly. I'll take any questions that you may have.
Was the officer shot in that confrontation, and where was the officer wounded?
That's still a part of the investigation.
Can you clarify if the officer actually sustained a gunshot wound or was injured from broken glass?
It could be either way right now, Peter. I don't know exactly, but that's still a part of the investigation.
Was the officer in his personal car, was he in uniform?
He was in his personal car and he was not in uniform.
So any idea if the suspects knew that he was an officer?
I don't know, Peter, but what I will say is this, is that it could have been anybody, right? It didn't necessarily have to be a Metropolitan Police Department officer. And as you know, when these types of things happen, you must know that we will not tolerate this kind of violence in our city. We will use every resource, as we have been, with any incident to ensure that no one gets away with this type of crime.
Was the officer able to return fire?
Give me, ma'am.
Chief, would you describe this as an attempted carjacking, or can you describe the altercation that led up to the shooting?
I cannot, and I do not, at this point, I cannot say it was a carjacking.
Did the officer return fire?
I do not know that at this time. It's part of the investigation. Mark?
People who are in custody now as suspects, they were originally by your office called persons of interest.
That is correct.
Do you believe these are the 2 people who shot at your officer? And are they males? Can you give us
2 male suspects. Adult male suspects, yes, sir.
Did you recover weapons?
Right now, I don't know if we've recovered weapons. Obviously, you know, there's another scene at in Landover, Maryland, that they're processing an investigating, and that information will be shared with me at a later date.
Pursued at the time of the crash? I know you said you had the
Yes,
chopper
they were being pursued.
on the ground.
On the ground, yes, sir. We had MPD officers that were canvassing the area here, and obviously we have the jurisdictional authority to have PG County pick up once they go into PG County.
Identified by name, can you tell us anything about this officer? Rank?
The officer is one of our captains. He has 18 years on the job, and he is assigned to our 4th District Station.
Had you had a chance to speak to the officer?
I have not came to the scene. I wanted to make sure that I had an opportunity to brief you. I wouldn't have been able to talk to him at the time I wanted to because he was undergoing a CT scan.
Did the suspects fire into the vehicle?
Yes, it was fired. Say that again?
Did the suspects fire into the vehicle?
Yes.
And both suspects fired?
I'm not sure if both suspects fired.
He never got out of the car?
Who is he?
The officer who was shot.
The officer did not get out of the car.
How many
Did the
suspects
suspect approach
exited
the
their car?
vehicle?
Give me 2 seconds. Okay, go ahead, Diane.
So both suspects are saying approach the vehicle?
I did not say that. What I said was one suspect exited the vehicle and shot at the officer.
Was he moving when this happened?
I do not know. That's part of the investigation, sir.
When you were
Mark,
pursuing the suspect vehicle, were they in a high-speed pursuit?
who was pursuing?
When the captain who was shot was pursuing the suspect?
I never said the captain was pursuing the vehicle. What I said was that there was a vehicle driving erratically in front of the officer's vehicle. The suspect vehicle stops. An individual gets out and shoots at the vehicle.
Did the officer have a police radio? Is that how he was able to?
That is correct. Yes, Mark.
Did he drive to the hospital? Or did
He did not. So what he did was he drove himself to the 4th District Station, and he was transported to the hospital by our
I'm sorry,
officers.
Chief, he was in plain clothes, correct?
He was in plain clothes.
Chief, did I already ask you? Can you tell us where the officer was wounded?
I don't know. That's part of the investigation.
Thank you all.
Let me see. Any other questions?
Non-life-threatening.
Non-life-threatening injuries.
Do you have any information about the initial shooting that took place prior to this? He was responding to a shots fired call.
Who was?
This off-duty officer had...
The off-duty officer was on his way to work.
But there was a shots fired call, you said, in the area, and he drove into this...
I didn't say that. I'm not sure if you mixed that up with, like they mix up everything about what happened sometimes that's not accurate. So that might not be an accurate account of what happened.
So there was only one scene where shots were fired.
That is my understanding as of right now. The 5800 block of 7th Street Northwest. That's clear. Say.
Can we get closer to that at some point?
When the investigation is done. Yeah. Yes, sir. Any other questions? All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Chief.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
There's a lot of people, good night.